Hello, St. Paul's family. Pastor Jonathan here, along with Rachel. And this morning we were blessed with Rachel discussing and talking about her mission trip that she took to Slovakia for the last number of weeks while she was gone. And so we thought we'd take this opportunity to kind of do a little bit more in depth with how Rachel would want to talk about things, kind of recap what we talked about today, and just give you a feel for what it would be like in internet land to have this presentation experience. So the first thing I want to start off asking Rachel is how did this mission trip opportunity come about, and what was the task of your team? And if you want to talk a little bit about the actual organization that you work through.
Yeah, great questions. I think a lot of people are kind of wondering, like, who are you going with? Why are you going for such a short time? And also, why Slovakia? So first off, we've known the executive directors, David and Angela Breidenbach, as personal friends for quite a few years. And they've been asking us every time that they see us, hey, you want to come on a mission trip with us at some point? And for us, we had, engagement, then we had marriage. The next year we saw them, it was that we were moving 1,000 miles away. Then we had 3 kids in a row, and it was just constant things that were kind of holding us back, and just, it wasn't the right season. So it's not that this was the right season, but there wasn't really anything that was kind of holding us back. So it was a good point where I was asked to go. They had a 1-week trip that I was able to go on. So it was like 1 week and change on both the front and back side for jet lag, and then at the end, like debrief and just a lot of team bonding stuff. So I went with Spiritual Orphans Network, and what they do is they go into places that are former Soviet communist bloc nations where the church has been kind of suffocated and stopped from preaching the gospel. So a lot of the people are not really connected like they were. So these generations have been lost, and there's these orphans to the church where they don't really realize that they have a heavenly Father. So what we're able to do is we're going in and we're doing an English Bible camp, which is sort of like a VBS style that we have here for the age range of about 6 to 13 or 14. And we're able to be with them for the week, preaching through kind of like the stories that we have are Moses this year. So we went through Moses, and we were able to talk about Moses' life, but we were also teaching English to them. We had a lot of games and crafts and fun. So that was who we were with, and that was where we were going. And Slovakia is one of their partners that they've been with for many years. So we went to Slovakia for ours, but we also do Albania, Latvia. They were doing Ukraine before the war. They were also in Russia before the war. And there's a few other places that they are looking to extend into as long as they have relationships built.
One of the readings that we had this morning was from the book of Genesis 12, dealing with the call of Abram. And one of the verses that I picked out to talk about with our congregation this morning was verse 1 of that, where it said, "The Lord said to Abram, go from your country, your people, and your father's household to the land that I will show you." And when we think about that, that's a big ask on God's part, and a lot of trust that Abraham has to have in God's promises. Go to this place that you've probably never seen before. I'm not talking about any type of provision. You just have to trust me that I will lead you there and provide for you. And even though it's kind of apples to oranges, I think there's something that's still applicable here. Asking you, Rachel, like, what type of apprehensions or worries or anxieties did you have? Because there was a lot of firsts for this trip for you with a type of mission.
Yeah, so there was a plethora, a cornucopia of worries that I had, where it was stuff about, like, on the home front, because it's not just about you going, but it's also who's staying behind to help you in going. So for me, I was thinking a lot about, I've never left my husband, I've never left my children. I've always been kind of the default parent. So what does that look like? And really, I had a lot of support in that, and I had to kind of set up the itinerary of what they could do, and getting a lot of support from the church around us. So that's one of the reasons why it's so important that we are sent by people, because there's a lot on the home front that needs to be managed. So a lot of that was just the thought of...
And we appreciated all the prayer that we received.
All of the prayers. We needed many, many prayers. But For us, it's not just about what you're leaving, but also what you're going to. So for me, I've never flown international. I've never flown by myself. I had to rent a rental car.
On the fly.
On the fly. A lot of on the fly things. I was more nervous about the actual travel than I was about the Bible camp that we were going to do. And that's just because when you've never done something before and you're walking through it for the first time, a lot of it for myself was by myself. Normally they try and have people fly together so that you're working together with each other. I didn't have that opportunity this year, but we were able to make it through, and I'm just...
And the Lord stretched you.
Yes, staying flexy.
And grew you.